since we're talking about Forbidden Tech, let's move on. And they have now added 2 additional Forbidden Techs that are sourceable through the Mirror Refinery. We're going to talk about the Mirror Refinery as a whole, and then we'll kind of loop in these extra Forbidden Techs that are in here. So you get your new building, your District 56 building. You build that, and suddenly now it won't let me see the bundle, but you get yourself 100 liquid Trellium D per day is what your daily claim is, along with 2 of the premium tokens is what it starts with. Maybe it'll actually show it in here. If I go to details. No, it's not going to tell you the actual Mirror Universe, what's in the gift bundles. I'm sure there's a chart that'll be coming out soon, but it's pretty low in terms of what you get out of it. It's 100 liquid D is what you start with, and 2 premium tokens, which is your daily claim. And if it takes, 40 to use a premium rift, basically 1 every 3 weeks is what you can do. Now, as you level the building up, that every 5 levels, that gift box increases. So you go from 2 to 3, or 3 to 4, or whatever, as you level up the building. So you'll get it down to maybe you get a premium rift a week, and then maybe a premium rift every 2 or 3 days. As you continue to go and move things along here. But in addition to giving you a little bit extra liquid Trellium D, they also gave you a handful of more ways to spend it. So you're getting an extra 100, but then they added a couple of new liquid refinery bundles here. If you want to get the materials to upgrade the building, that'll cost you 50 per day. So there's half of what they just gave you. So you got a little extra left over. And there are 2 Forbidden Techs that have been out for a while. I think these came out at the beginning of the year or the end of last year in one of the territory battle passes. The Corrupted Cybernetic Implant, which gives you boosts when attacking player stations, as well as just a generic boost to hull health tucked in there in the middle. And the Orion Cargo Transporter, which gives you more cargo capacity on all survey ships, and then eventually will give you a bigger boost to your amalgam effectiveness, giving you bigger scoops. And so you get these wonderful things out of here. Now, do they open an additional... It's not there. It's in the other spot. I want to see do they open any additional unlocks in the Forbidden Tech Refinery? Do they have a... That's the whip. There's the bream dampener. I don't think so, right? So there's nothing else that they unlock. So getting them doesn't give you access to one of these additional things here. Excuse me. So there's no extra bonus there. Krista, thank you for putting that in the chat. Per tier, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20, 22 are currently the known premium rift key amounts. Basically going every 5 levels, you're increasing it by 2. Sounds about right. So you'd have to really ramp the building up, even if you take it up, let's say every 5 tiers. So you got to take it up, to level 50? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So basically taking it up to level 50 will let you do a premium transport every other day. Which is, again, you can still get more from the refinery, but that's still kind of low, so. Still kind of low. What's up, Lube? Thanks for stopping by. Barkman, what's going on? Welcome on in. Lightning Hawk, hello. Congrats on your amazing marbles run and your free battle pass in Lube's stream earlier. Lexel says level 40 is a premium. Yeah, yeah. So you got to get the building up pretty considerable to be able to do a premium run every other day. So, Brett, the premium is really just more to save you time and effort and keys and things like that to move around faster a lot of the time. It's not like you're necessarily moving into a premium system because you want to mine here in Ganalda and get some of this liquid, get some of this raw trellium. It's because if you want to get all the way out here to Alaterra, it's a quick one-stop shortcut instead of going through 5 or 6 other systems and going all the way around, which depending on what ship you're using and the impulse crew and things like that will take you time. Like this might take you 3 or 4 minutes to get out here the normal way, depending on again what crew and stuff you've got. As opposed to taking the shortcut here might take you 30 or 40 seconds. So when you're time gated, that's kind of the bonus for some of these systems here. Kronos does have liquid Trellium D. I'm sorry, not liquid Trellium, but raw Trellium D mines in it, so that could also be a faster way if you get here to get to some mining systems, because otherwise you kind of have to go all the way up here if you want to get to the ones that have the mining nodes. These are the only ones for the Trellium D. So even if you flew all the way here to Alaterra, now you've got to tack on 5 or 6 other systems, working your way all the way to the back up into here as well. So you're going through 10 to 12 systems. By the time you get there with your mining ship, you might only have 7, 8 minutes left, 10 minutes left, depending on how quick your miner is. So it's definitely it's a shortcut. Is really what it's there for a lot of people. The other advantage of doing this is that it does give you mirror universe duration does go up. I think this also scales every 5 levels. Nope, not even then. It's every 10 levels. You get a little extra. Yeah, every 10 levels you get a little bit extra on your mirror universe duration. So level 10 you get the 10%, level 20 you get to 20%, 30 gets you to 30%. So again, if you're talking about you've got a 20-minute timer, a 10% bump to that would be an extra 2 minutes. Okay. That might give you a little bit more, might make mining a little more profitable. If instead of only having a 20-minute timer, you've got a 24, 26-minute timer to work with. But again, they tied the solution to the problem. Instead of just making a generic change to the mechanic, they tied it behind an upgrade wall, a pay wall, a time wall, whatever it's going to take to upgrade this building before you can actually then take advantage of the additional benefit to the mechanic and actually be able to enjoy the mechanic more. Well, you're going to have to work for it. So, all right, back to our mirror universe refinery. So in addition to these other new 2 techs that they added in here, there's nothing else they added over here. They did fix the scrolling, so I can scroll all the way over to the right again. Yay! That's in the patch notes. I read that and I had a little sigh of relief, and I was like, oh, thank you, because it was such an annoying thing to only be able to see that. That's as far as it would go. And it was like, well, why can't you go all the way? I want to see the whole thing. So thankfully, that is fixed now. But the other thing that comes along with this new daily claim that gives you that extra 100 liquid Trellium D, which as you do scale this up, it does increase. I think Bad Wolf mentioned earlier that he gets like 800 in his daily claim per day, but his building is also probably already like level 60 or something. You now get Your building's level 70 already? Oh, okay. So you took your building all the way to level 70. Just curious if you want to share this. How many packs did you have to buy to go from 1 to 70? If you want to, save us people the trouble of doing the math. Was it 4 packs, 5 packs? Do you remember to take it all the way up? 12 with accelerating it cost you about 2 grand. Well, again, obviously, if you're actually leveling up the building and things like that, and you have to pay for all the level ups and things. Thank you, first off, for sharing that information. Okay, so it's easily to go all the way to max. You're talking about a large number of packs. I know some people were saying, like, even for just like the first, I think they bought like 2 packs out of the store and they got the building into the 30s. So I was just curious how long it would take to go even further than that, but yeah, okay. Um, but the other thing they did give you is 3 new mirror efficiencies in here. So if again we complained about, hey, the MU takes a considerable amount of time and we don't have time for all of these older loops. And their response to that was, you're right. We did give you a whole bit of more time commitment and we didn't take away older loops the way we normally do. Mr. Tiger said it himself in one of the interviews he was doing, that normally when we give you a whole big new thing, we try and condense and consolidate some old things. Well, unfortunately, they consolidated things that they already consolidated. We just got things that consolidated the Stella and the Mantis. And, well, Voyager does have an option. I'll freely admit this one is better, but the Stella bundle here, okay, it's giving you particles, reputation, credits. That one was already in the Ex Borg faction store. We already had a Stella bundle in here that gave you reputation and particles. So this one gives you credits to do chest pulls and independent credits. So if you're still searching for officers, that new one is helpful for you. And it does give you a little bit of a larger amount of particles. But this one you can also do a 7 chest pull and you get, that's almost 100k particles, right? That's over 100k particles. 16 times 7, yeah, about 100k. No, it's like 110. Whereas this one is giving you 50. Now it's costing you 300 of your new liquid Trellium to do it. Well, you're getting an extra 100 per day, but you got to spend 50 of it to upgrade the building. So you get an extra 50 per day for a while in the beginning. And I guess if you save that up, you could go ahead and grab one of these. You will also see different values in here based on what tier your Stella is. So this one, I don't think a lot of players are going to see the value in this. I think they're going to think this liquid D is too useful. There's too many other things I want to spend it on that I'm going to use it on Stella particles. I probably already have the reputation. It's a it's a decent amount of independent credits and rogue credits, but there's other ways to get those. I can get the rogue credits by doing the chest turn-ins, which I get from the other X-Borg bundle, so not a lot of value here. And the Mantis bundle over here, this one just seems bad. Like, I get it, great, you get an extra 2,500 Syndicate XP, but you get 2 pulls at the officers if you don't have the Strange New Worlds officers, high tier or maxed out. You probably have the rares maxed, a lot of people, or high tier. Maybe you're still searching for the epics. But again, you can do this just by doing stings, right? You can get enough to source that. But only 30,000 Venom is really low. My Mantis, my Syndicate pull, single pull with my Mantis is like 300k. So I don't know what this is going to be. But obviously, when you take it to tier 12, it gets better. When you max it out, it goes up considerably, but then again, so do the costs of things go up. But at tier 11 and 3/4, I think I've got one component left to do with my Mantis. If I go into my Mantis Refinery, what is that 30K buying me? Not even enough to do one chest pull on the parts. I need 110. So every 4 days, I can do a chest pull of parts. Or if I needed the research, every 5 days, I could do a research pull. And my Syndicate XP is like 300K. So the bundle itself having Syndicate XP helps. But if you're trying to do it to actually do the refinery to complete the loop, this new bundle is not very helpful and does not address that problem at all. You're much better off, again, doing the bundle out of the X-Borg store and getting way more value. Where's the Mantis one? Mantis efficiency. I get one chest here, it's got 584,000 in it. That lets me do all 3 pulls, single pulls, every day. Whereas that other one is like barely once a week, maybe I get a single pull out of it. So that's not so great. Again, if you're using it for the actual Syndicate XP, it helps move that along. And that's just another way to source more Syndicate XP, which, kind of just waters down the path and makes us all wonder, how much longer do we have to wait before they change this and increase it even further? Also, now that there is another direct daily source of in-game Syndicate XP, that means we got to raise the milestones again on the SMSs, doesn't it? Because now players have access to get even more points, and we can't have them hitting more than like the first milestone free to play, because that's just how this event scales and how it's intended to work. So expect your point thresholds on future Syndicate events to go up again. So this one, not so good. The Voyager one, on the other hand, is actually fairly good. You're getting 4 million common samples, 3 million rares, and guaranteed commerce insignias, as well as 100,000 biotoxins. Let's just pull a quick screenshot of this one, because this one I like. This one I like very much. If you are looking to replace this loop. Again, the 300 liquid trillium, again, there's a lot of players who would want to use that elsewhere. But if you're coming down here and comparing it to what your Voyager is, you don't get the Hirogen loot, but you do get that from the X-Borg one. The X-Borg one basically only gives you Hirogen loot. In fact, let's go look at that one first. The Voyager one in here, which we complained, they upgraded like the Monavine and some of these other ones, the Stella, the Mantis, and the Talios in the last update, and made these way better. But they left Voyager off, and that was all we got. And it was like, this isn't really enough to do anything. 22k Hirogen relics and 30,000 biotoxins doesn't really do a whole lot for you. And if I go back to my Voyager refinery, 22k here gets me 1 2-chest pull. Okay, so just enough to do this to get my canisters and get this moving. But 30,000 wasn't even... I need 3.5 of those to even get 1 8472 box and get 1 set of commerce tokens. Well, now I get 100k out of here. That's a guaranteed single chest pull of here, plus I'm also getting a guaranteed 150 commerce tokens in addition to the 100 I'm getting out of here. So now I'm already up to 250. And then I come over here to my anomaly sample. Well, if I get 4 million out of that box, that's enough to at least do a double pull. And every couple of days, I might be able to sneak in a triple pull, double, 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 triple, to help source any of this stuff that I might still be working on. And the rare one as well. Well, there's also a cooldown on these, right? So it's 2 or 3 days. This has a 3-day cooldown. So again, if you do that one, you can triple pull because by the time you get back to it, the if you're doing this daily, the 3-day cooldown on the Voyager one, or 4-day cooldown, whatever it is, um, will be up again. And then this one's longer than that. So, and again, if you do this and you get 3 million currency, get your guaranteed commerce tokens. Well, I guess we're only doing a single pull, because a single pull here is a million, and a double chest pull is 11 million. Wow. Uh, I did not realize just how drastically different these values were. What's this, 12 times to do the single chest pull? Oof. I don't think I ever looked at that number that closely before. That's pretty crazy. So you can at least do a single chest pull probably all month. With 3 million there, you do one or two of these Voyager pulls a week, and you're going to get enough rare probably for the month, and the common for probably at least 2 or 3 weeks worth, and the biotoxins will get you a couple extra pulls. And then you can finish up your commerce insignias. And if you haven't finished your field training yet, that should get you a lot closer to that 15,000 that you need for the Voyager milestone here that they changed it to. This one here, trading in your commerce tokens, this one got lowered to 15,000. So if you haven't hit that yet, that should certainly help you along the way to get there faster, get that dolomite, get some of those primes updated. So that's actually a good change, because the other bundle in the Xborg store is bad. It's not really very good at all. I would have preferred that they just upgraded this in the other store, and then instead of putting these two bundles in here, maybe we could put like a Zindi bundle in here, because that's a loop that players aren't necessarily excited about going and doing. But I know it's also new because we just got it in January, so it's still only 6 months old. And I guess they don't want to cut that one down yet. And I guess the Gorn one is supposed to get faster once we get the Eviscerator, which free-to-play people will be getting in 2 months. So they didn't need to put a bundle in there, and they're not going to put the aquatics in here because they don't want people without the NX-01 doing the aquatic refinery. So I guess this was all they had available to work with, and they're like, yeah, let's just repeat 2 of the last 3 things that we just updated again. I don't know. Let's play catch up. What did you guys think here? Cooldowns are 1, 3, 5, 7 left to right. Thank you very much for that, Lube. So daily, every 3 days. This is a 5-day on the anomaly and 7-day on the rare. Okay. Thank you. Silent Hostels would have been a good one. Sure. I would have liked to have seen a Gorn bundle. I would have liked to have seen Silent Hostels. I would have liked to have seen a Zindi bundle. Not to say they may not add them later, but if you're talking about people wanting to condense down older loops and things like that, doubling up on existing ones isn't really probably saving a lot of time. Most people don't do Stella loops. They do the events on Thursdays, and that's kind of their Stella work for the week. They get a couple of days worth of, refinery pulls from killing the hostels. They get a couple days of Armada pulls from doing that. If they're still leveling and scrapping Stellas, okay, then they're still doing that whole loop and cycle. Or they're taking the Xborg store, just getting the particles and skipping the whole scrapping mechanic and finishing up the research that way. So I don't know, a lot of people are still out grinding Stella materials, so maybe not the best thing to put in there. If you want to talk about consolidating loops and saving players time, I think Stella's a loop we're kind of all past. Well, not all of us, obviously, because newer servers and newer players and things like that, but a big chunk of your player base are past it. And the ones who aren't can probably take advantage of the Xborg store instead, because this bundle's just better. This bundle's better. It uses a much less desirable currency, still gets you reputation, still gets you particles, and it gets you codes, which you then would just turn in in your rogue store instead, turn in your codes, getting you credits, which you would then turn the credits into the officers, which you were getting out of the other bundle anyway. So the only thing you're really getting is independent credits. And independent credits, well, you get a little bit here by doing that research, and you can also get those out of your Talios refinery. So yet another alternative. Do a 7-day loyalty chest. Look at that. Silent one would be great. I just think buoy and a 649. Yeah, I think the silent one would have been good. Maybe they didn't want to have to program all the different silent hostile bundles because, you know, this is the one they did the mechanic on where based on your level, there's 6 different currencies that you're working with because there's 6 different types of hostiles that you're gaining access to. So they didn't want to have to maybe put a bundle in the store that's going to scale 6 different ways. They didn't feel like programming that yet. Maybe they're still working on it.